In the engine of commerce, credit is the essential lubricant. It allows businesses to sell goods and services today with the promise of payment tomorrow, fueling growth and enabling larger transactions. But this convenience introduces significant risk and uncertainty. How does a business formalize this credit relationship, turning a simple passive promise into a legally binding, active, and transferable financial instrument? The answer lies in a cornerstone of commercial law, governed in India by the Negotiable Instruments Act of 1881, the Bill of Exchange. It is the legal technology that provides certainty and liquidity to the world of trade credit. Section 5 of the Act defines a bill of exchange as an unconditional written order from a creditor to a debtor to pay a specific sum of money. There are three primary parties involved. The drawer is the creditor, typically the seller, who creates or draws the bill. The drawee is the debtor, the buyer, who is ordered to pay. Upon signing the bill to signal their agreement, the drawee becomes the acceptor. And finally, the payee is the ultimate recipient of the funds. While the drawer is usually the initial payee, the negotiable nature of the bill means the right to receive payment can be transferred to someone else. For a document to be legally valid as a bill of exchange, it must meet several strict criteria. It must be in writing, contain an order to pay that is absolute and unconditional, be signed by the drawer, and specify a certain sum of money and a certain date. Crucially, as per the Indian Stamp Act, it must be properly stamped with revenue stamps. An unstamped or improperly stamped bill is inadmissible as evidence in a court of law, rendering it virtually unenforceable and stripping it of its legal power. This is not a mere formality, it's a prerequisite for legal validity. Let's trace the accounting for a Rs5 00000 bill drawn by ABC Textiles on Delhi Retail Mart for a 60-day period. Upon acceptance by Delhi Retail, the bill becomes a legal instrument. In the books of the drawer, ABC Textiles, the journal entry is Bills Receivable Account, Debit, Rs5 00000 to Delhi Retail Mart Account, Credit. This entry is significant. It transforms a standard trade debtor, which is just a book entry, into a superior financial asset called a bill receivable, which is a formal, written acknowledgement of debt with stronger legal standing. Simultaneously, in the books of the drawee, Delhi Retail Mart, the acceptance is recorded with the entry ABC Textiles Account, Debit, Rs5 00000 to Bills Payable Account, Credit. For the drawee, this converts a standard trade creditor from an open account into a formal, legally recognized liability known as a bill payable. This formalizes the debt and sets a clear, legally binding payment date. The simplest case is when the bill is held to maturity and honored. On the due date, which includes 3 additional days of grace as per the Act, Delhi Retail pays the amount. ABC Textiles records this receipt with the entry, Bank Account, Debit, to Bills Receivable Account, Credit. This path is suitable when the company has sufficient working capital and does not need immediate cash. For immediate liquidity, ABC can discount the bill with its bank. This is a form of off-balance sheet financing. The bank buys the bill, providing cash upfront minus a discount charge, which is essentially the interest for the period the bank has to wait for the payment. If the bank charges Rs10 000, ABC's entry is Bank Account, Debit, Rs4 90,000, Discount Charges Account, Debit, Rs10 000 to Bills Receivable Account, Credit, Rs5 00000. The drawee, Delhi Retail, makes no entry, as their obligation is simply to pay the new payee, the bank, on the due date. ABC can also use the bill to settle its own debts. If ABC owes money to Surat Fabrics, it can endorse the bill by signing on the back and delivering it to them. The entry is Surat Fabrics Account, Debit, to Bills Receivable Account, Credit. This is an efficient way to settle a liability without affecting the company's cash balance. If Delhi Retail fails to pay on the due date, the bill is dishonored. This is a serious event. To create legal proof of dishonor, the holder of the bill will get the fact recorded by a notary public. This process is called noting, and the fees paid are noting due. If the bill was discounted, the bank will recover the full Rs 5,000,000 plus the noting from ABC. ABC must then record a new receivable from Delhi Retail for the full amount. A promissory note is a related but distinct instrument. A bill of exchange is an order to pay, drawn by the creditor, which requires acceptance to become binding on the drawee. A promissory note is a promise to pay, created by the debtor themselves. The liability of the maker of a note is primary and absolute, while the drawer of a bill has a secondary conditional liability that arises only if the drawee dishonors the bill. In India, the hundi is a traditional instrument that predates the formal legal system. It operates on trade custom and community trust, or SAC, and is not governed by the Negotiable Instruments Act. A unique type is the Yokhami hundi, which combines credit with insurance. It is only payable if the goods it finances arrive safely. While historically significant, for a modern manager, hundis present a major legal risk, as recourse in case of dishonor is complex and not guaranteed in a formal court of law. Beyond accounting, these instruments are strategic tools. Bill discounting is a core tactic for working capital and liquidity management, providing faster access to cash than traditional loans. Insisting on a bill of exchange from new or high-risk customers is a powerful method of credit risk mitigation, creating a clear legal path for recovery. Endorsing bills is an efficient technique for supply chain finance and vendor relations. A manager must understand these applications to optimize financial operations and strengthen the company's financial position. In summary, bills of exchange, promissory notes, and other negotiable instruments are the legal and financial architecture that makes modern credit-based commerce possible. They are not static documents, but dynamic tools. They transform a simple receivable into a secure, transferable, and liquid asset, providing the flexibility, security, and financial leverage that businesses need to thrive in a competitive marketplace. Understanding their mechanics is therefore essential for any student of finance and commerce.